I remember hearing Jensen talk about my work and feeling that strange mix of humility and intensity that always hits me when someone I deeply respect in technology takes a moment to acknowledge the path I'm on. Because Jensen Huang isn't just any CEO. He's someone who helped shape the modern computing era. GPUs, accelerated computing, the very backbone of the AI revolution, and when he publicly expressed admiration for what I've been building, and even said he regretted not investing more in xAI early on, it felt less like praise and more like a signal that the direction I chose, the hard one, the one full of criticism and skepticism, was actually resonating at the highest levels of the industry. And I want to be clear, this was never about validation or money or headlines. It was always about building systems that pursue truth, that push intelligence forward without being constrained by fear, bureaucracy, or groupthink. And when someone like Jensen acknowledges that, it reinforces why I started xAI in the first place. Because I saw AI drifting toward narrow incentives, closed systems, and ideological filters, and I believed deeply that humanity needed an AI that was curious, honest, physics-based, and aligned with reality itself. Not just corporate comfort, and Jensen's words reflected a broader shift I've been noticing across the industry. A growing realization that the future of AI can't just be incremental. It has to be bold, foundational, and willing to challenge assumptions. And his comment about regret wasn't about missed profit. It was about timing, about recognizing early momentum and the speed at which xAI has been moving, building models, infrastructure, and hardware integration at a pace that surprises even seasoned leaders. And I think what people are really responding to is that we're not just training models, we're rebuilding the entire stack, from silicon to software to reasoning. Because intelligence is not a feature you bolt on, it's an emergent property of systems designed with first principles, and hearing support from someone who literally built the platforms powering global AI development tells me that the vision is landing. That the industry is starting to align around the idea that AI must be maximally useful, transparent, and oriented toward understanding the universe. And not everyone will agree with my methods or my tone or my willingness to move fast and break conventions. But moments like this remind me that progress has always come from people willing to stand slightly outside the center and pull the future forward. And as more leaders voice support, it becomes clear that this isn't about one company or one person. It's about ensuring that artificial intelligence evolves in a way that strengthens civilization, expands human capability, and remains grounded in reality. And if even Jensen Huang looks back and thinks we should have gone bigger sooner, then that tells me we're exactly where we need to be, accelerating hard into what comes next. As I kept thinking about it, I realized that moments like Jensen's comment are really markers of inflection points, the kind you only recognize clearly in hindsight. Because when you're in the middle of building something new, especially something ambitious, the noise is overwhelming. People doubt the feasibility, they question the motives, they argue about timelines, governance, safety, control, and I've lived through that pattern over and over with SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink, and now xAI. And every time the same thing happens, early resistance slowly gives way to cautious interest, then to reluctant respect, and eventually to open acknowledgement. And Jensen's words felt like that transition happening in real time for AI, because he understands scale, he understands hardware bottlenecks, power constraints, training curves, and the brutal reality of turning theory into deployed systems. And for someone like him to say publicly that he wished he had invested more tells me that xAI isn't just philosophically interesting. It's technically undeniable, and that matters because the future of AI will be shaped by those who can execute at scale, not just talk about it. And what we're doing is deliberately hard. We're building models that reason, that ask why, that aren't trained to avoid discomfort, but to confront uncertainty head-on. And that approach doesn't always fit neatly into existing narratives, but it's necessary, because intelligence that avoids reality is not intelligence at all. And I think more leaders are starting to see that the next phase of AI isn't about bigger chatbots or prettier demos. It's about deep understanding, scientific reasoning, and alignment with the physical world, and that's where xAI is focused tightly and relentlessly. And when industry leaders start voicing support, it creates momentum not just for us, but for the entire ecosystem, because it encourages risk-taking, it encourages long-term thinking, it encourages building infrastructure that can support orders of magnitude growth. And that's what excites me most, not praise itself, but what it unlocks, the willingness of others to push harder, invest deeper, and move faster, because time matters. The stakes are enormous, and the trajectory of AI will define the future of civilization. And if Jensen Huang, looking back, says we should have gone bigger sooner, then my response is simple. We're not slowing down, we're accelerating, because the goal was never comfort, it was progress, and we're just getting started. What really drives this home for me is that praise from someone like Jensen isn't isolated. It's part of a broader pattern where the industry is waking up to the reality that AI is no longer a side project or a feature layer. It's the core operating system of the future. And when you build at that level, you can't be timid. You can't optimize for optics. You have to optimize for truth and performance. And that's something I've always believed in, whether it was rockets landing themselves, electric cars outperforming gas vehicles, or now AI systems that are designed to reason about the universe. And I think Jensen sees that because NVIDIA has lived at the intersection of ambition and execution for decades. They know what it means to bet big before the world is ready. And his acknowledgement feels like a quiet confirmation that xAI is on the right side of history, not because it's popular, but because it's necessary. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The goal of AI should be to maximize the probability that the future is good, and that requires systems that are deeply curious, that can challenge humans when we're wrong, and that aren't constrained by short-term incentives. And building that kind of AI requires an unusual combination of courage, capital, talent, and speed. And when leaders across the industry begin to openly express support, it sends a signal to engineers, researchers, and builders everywhere that it's okay to think bigger, to reject mediocrity, and to aim for something fundamentally transformative. And that's where I see this going. Convergence of minds and resources toward building intelligence that actually understands reality. From physics to biology to consciousness itself, and we're still early, incredibly early. But momentum is building fast, and moments like this are reminders that Even those who didn't fully see it at the beginning are now leaning forward, paying attention, and wanting to be part of what comes next. And for me, that's fuel, not ego fuel, but mission fuel. Because the work ahead is immense, the challenges are real, and the consequences matter. And if the people who helped build the foundations of modern AI are now saying we should have gone bigger sooner, then the only logical response is to keep pushing, keep questioning, keep building, and make sure that the intelligence we create helps humanity understand the universe and itself a little better than before.